1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Twitch is working. I'm not double streaming to YouTube today because it seems that there was some change of rules on Twitch. Hello, Xproof. Long time no see, everybody. Just in case I will start recording. I'm recording now, but I don't know if I will upload this to YouTube. I used to double stream to both websites, YouTube and Twitch. No, I don't. Okay, another thing. There was some Twitch chat highlighter tool. I need to find it. Anybody remembers a tool that I used to use for highlighting Twitch comments? Did I get LASIK? Yeah, I did surgery almost 2 years ago. Twitch chat highlight. Maybe I will start solving some problem and then I will figure out the chat robot path. I have some wrong answer here from 2 years ago. Is this difficult? Compute the total distance the robot moves. Seems easy. Oh, character and an integer. Maybe not so easy. Yeah, I need to think about it, but seems doable. I wonder what are those submissions. Is this my code? Yes, I think it's my code. Interesting. Then I will just think about it from scratch, but it might be a good first problem. Solvable Quintic. I'm semi-retired from competitive programming, but seeing this notification brought back some nice memories. Thank you. Okay, I will start thinking about this robot path task, but if somebody in the chat knows what tool I used for highlighting chat, please tell me. This is the task we're solving. I think it was an independent website. Wait, I likely have some tool. You hear me now, right? And you didn't hear me for a moment. Stream elements. No, it wasn't stream elements. Okay, it was featured chat. I found it somewhere in OBS. So this website. We'll try to quickly log in. And let's see. Oh, I need to do one more thing. Test. Okay. Now I think you see the highlight and you see my face and all of that. Cool. Thank you, Sharma. Let's solve some problems. I will read the chat, so if you have some questions, go and ask me. This problem is so kind of hard. If I decide that it's difficult, I will just skip it, leave it for later or something. It's just that it's a first problem I noticed, and it was some old problem that I attempted and couldn't solve apparently. But I don't remember well. Okay, we go from somewhere, we go up, we make moves. Now we need to figure out this intersection. I have some ideas for what to do if n was smaller, like 1000. What are we doing today? I don't really know. Solving random problems. I just wanted to get back to doing YouTube. If you suggest something reasonable, I will consider it. I don't really have a big plan for today. Can it go back to the same point over and over? I think the input will allow that, but you need to say when it stops, when for the first time it happens. Got your computer science degree today? Congratulations, Japik. Nice job. Okay, for every column, we can keep track of segments that are visited. Then when we cross that column, of course, there can be a lot of columns. We can do binary search, and we can sweep line from left to right. That might be easier. So I will binary search through the input, and then for some prefix, including maybe some only part of a command, I will have a drawing. So the drawing might look like this. We went this way, this way, this way, this way, and a little bit more. And maybe some command was unfinished. And now, given this drawing, series of commands, I just need to decide if there is an intersection or not. This should be easier. So given a set of vertical and horizontal segments, we need to find any intersection. Also, if we move 3 times up, let's say that I will only consider, I don't know, those cells. So the starting cell will not be included. Just the very starting cell 00 might be special. This is something, and then we have like those moves here, and so on. Now, when I go from left to right, every time when we start something horizontal, we will add it to something, like a set, I think. And when we have something vertical, I need to check if anything here exists. Also, there can be collision between vertical or horizontal. Yeah, seems doable. So let's code it. Where am I? I'm in Warsaw, as always. Maybe not always, but usually I am. vector of pairs, that's just a way to store data. The algorithm here is difficult and it uses the fact that constraints are big. Okay, how do I minimize OneNote? This is how. Robot. What do we have here? N, and then a series of comments. I need to store that because then we'll binary search through it. Should I just store characters? I guess so. I will call it input. And for easier binary search, let me get the sum of lengths. And the answer will now be from 0 to this sum. And right, okay, I just made sure that it doesn't go forever, keeps repeating this series of moves, then it would be more difficult. Hello, Gupta. Long time no see as well. Do you still have moderator privileges here? I hope so. I don't really know if Twitch changes something after 1 year of absence. Okay. So let's do binary search. So mid is possible answer, and we need to verify if the robot can move that long without intersecting itself. Right. Now I will get a series of vertical and horizontal lines. I will then sweep from left to right. So do we need events? I wonder how similar the code will be to what I submitted here 1 year ago, because we have some wrong submissions of mine. Later we'll compare, but to be honest, I don't remember anything. So what kind of events? It can be start of something horizontal, start of horizontal, end of horizontal, and just vertical. Those are types of events, I believe. This will include X and Y. X and Y. X, Y1, Y2. Right. If there are a lot of things that share the same X, then we'll need to break ties in some way. I first want to consider ends. So let's say that this will be like that, like this. And what about vertical? They should be in between. So maybe this will be minus infinity, this will be infinity, and this will be anything in between. But this is for breaking ties, obviously. So no. We first consider starts to get all the collisions. So on the same X, first do all the starts. I will make a drawing for that. If there are things that end at the same X, also start at the same X, and there is something vertical here. I want to do it in this order: 1, 2, 3. To possibly detect a collision. If we first end something before we insert a thing that also exists on the same X, then that's wrong. So starts vertical, then ends. Starts vertical, ends. Good. Infinity. Let's create infinity. Everything will be long, because the sum of x's is big. We have here events. It will be those triples. Do I assume there will be at most one intersection? In the total input, no, but I need to find the first such moment. So in binary search, I just care about this prefix of commands being valid or not. No intersections or a single intersection, that's enough. Let me make some functions. At horizontal. This one is trickier because we have the start and the end. X minus x1 minus infinity y. Okay, we have the helper functions. Now we need to go through the input, use this thing for the total length of a robot path. For everything. For every command in the input. Let's also get the current x and current y coordinate. Let's add a single vertical object that is just at 0, 0. Add vertical of this, I think. This is the starting cell. And here we always minimize this with the remaining mid. This is the remaining moves. Command second, maybe let's do it like that. I cannot take minimum of int and long. That doesn't work in C++. If this is bigger than remaining moves, then minimize. If this is 0, then break. This, and now we need to go into that direction for that long, and I will just make here 4 ifs, I think. If command first is up, then we increase the y coordinate, so add vertical x, y1, y2, current x, current y plus length. And here plus y, because we don't want to include the current cell, otherwise every corner would be included twice. Down. And left and right. And y. current x plus 1. Would I think about AI replacing programmers? It's a tool, it will help programmers. Does it mean that some programmers will lose a job? Maybe. Corrects plus equal len. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, 20 pixels. I would forget. So we process this. And now, if this was a more difficult problem, I could finish this with a brute force temporarily to do what? I could now, once I have those vertical and horizontal lines, that go through them with brute force and see if there is any repetition, to see if binary search works. But let's first try to finish it. If it will not work, then maybe I will do that to figure it out. What am I doing? For the past few years, I worked half-time in a high school, but I do not anymore. A few days ago was my last day, and I didn't want to continue that anymore. In a few days, I'm going to Brazil for an Olympiad programming camp, and after that, I don't really have big responsibilities and plans, so I have more time, hopefully. I still work with Huawei a little bit. I hope that I will be back to doing YouTube, but I've said that a lot of times in the past. I will organize Polish ICPC regionals this November, so that's some work to do. More streams? Maybe. I will not promise anything. That doesn't make any sense, I believe. Sort the events. Now we do sweep line from left to right. I'll copy this. It will be easier. Maybe I will decrease the font a little bit. Okay. For everything in events, if no, this is X, and now if event 1 is minus infinity, this is the start of horizontal. For many, many years, words horizontal and vertical were difficult for me. I'm not a native speaker, and I still need to think which one is which. Eventually, I figured it out. Like, I now recognize which one is horizontal. The same with east and west. I need to think for a moment which is to the left and to the right. At least I know left and right. Some people have troubles with that. Well, 120 viewers, nice. I'm a native speaker and have the same problem. But here you go. Okay. In this case, we mainly just want to insert to some kind of a set of active y's. This is set of active y coordinates. On what y coordinates we have something horizontal. Just before that, if y is count event of 2, then what? Maybe return false. I think I will make all of that into a function. So can go remaining moves. Let's move everything from here, there, Function can go tells us if the robot can go that many moves. Sounds like I'm keeping myself busy. I don't remember a time when I didn't have anything to do for a month or something like that. But still, I should have slightly more time after this Brazil camp than I had in the past. I will replace people that consistently place second or lower. Not in the next 10 years. Vertical is standing vs. Interesting. Okay, so here we return false because we cannot go. This can be done in one function. I know that those two operations can be done in one because insert actually returns a pair, but I don't want to bother. If you want to optimize the time of using set, then you need to understand function insert better, by the way. Function insert returns a pair when one element is iterator, the other is whether the insert was successful. This is end of horizontal. And finally, we have vertical. This is event of 1, of 2, and to do collisions between vertical. I'm going to here check if anything in a set exists between those two, which should be easy. And now this is remaining. But already this should produce reasonable results. Maybe even it should pass the test. If can go of mid, then this, else that, -1 obviously. In binary search, I don't like printing low. It seems strange to print at the end the low variable. Why would you do that? But well, low is equal to high. I can go. Mid was not declared. And the typo here. We are not using X. Correct, we are not. Eight. That's close. What include do you need to use those? I use bits, which in Linux at least, it includes everything. Everything reasonable. What does assert do? Assert says, I want this to be true. I'm sure that this should be true, otherwise I want to see an error message. Saying assert x equals y is equivalent to this. If x is not y, then print error and stop the program. That's equivalent. Okay, let me do something simpler. We will make, let's say, or do I want to read this? Up twice, right 3 times, down once, and then left. Okay, then this thing will give us a collision. If you go right 3 times, then you can go left only 2 times. The number of steps you will get is 6 plus 2, 8. Oh, and 9 because you make one more step and you lose. So the code is okay. What is my code? The code is okay, it's just that at the end I should print answer +1. Maybe let's do this, minimum of low +1 and the sum. You cannot exceed the sum, because if all the moves were okay, which I think is allowed, then you still want to print that. Okay, we have 9, but it's not correct yet. I can do this. Go up 10 times, go down 5 times. Now the code thinks that it can do all the 15 moves, but it's not the case. If you go up 10 times, then you cannot go down even once. The remaining part, it's not this. What is this program? I need to close some tabs. The remaining part is this. So while we have the same x, we need to compare the y ranges. Is it enough to just compare with the previous one? Let's see. If there are a lot of vertical with the same x, they will be sorted by y. And I can kind of remember the previous thing, right? So if on the same x coordinate there is such a range, let's say from y equals 5 to y equals 9, and then there is something like this, from y equal to 12 to something higher, then when I'm at this interval, I want to remember, hey, the previous one ended at y equals 9. And then I will compare those two values. 12 needs to be greater than 9. So, and we need to also remember the previous x to know if it's the same. Can go not here. There is pref initial equal to infinity. And when we have vertical, if x equals pref first and y1 is not greater than pref.second, then do this. And anyway, remember y2. This should check collisions. Collisions between vertical. We have 11. Yeah, that's I think correct. On that 11th step we fail. Robot.cpp. You hope I solve all the CSES problems? Is that really useful? All the problems have solutions out there in the internet. Can we traverse the robot path and then use the formulas to find the distance? It would be too slow. The sum of lengths of those distances here is huge. 100,000 times you go by up to million steps. If you multiply those two values, you will get around 10 to 11th power operations. The judge is stuck? Huh. Interesting. Do I plan to make YouTube videos? I do. Okay, what's going on? Is first the sample test? Not necessarily, right? 5. Okay, I'm misunderstanding something about this off by 1. Let's see. It stops when it returns to a point that was already visited. What is wrong here? We go up 5 times, and then you go down once. Then you get to a point that you visited. Why is the answer 5 and not 6? Doesn't the sample test specify that? Right here we have 2 plus 3 steps, that's 5, plus 1, that's 6. And then after 3 steps you are in the same cell. What's going on? Maybe when we have vertical collisions, then we shouldn't add one? Right, down, left, up. Maybe it means 0,499. Oh, it's a continuous movement. Okay, Psycho said a good suggestion, provided a good suggestion. It's not a grid with cells. I imagined it making a step by one. Well, instead we should think about points, and if we think about points, then indeed what happens is when you're here and you have something like that, from here you will almost make the full movement until there. So like you will move 4.99. Versus if you just move down and then you move up, you cannot move up even a little bit. You go up by 0, and here you go up to this point and including it. Okay, we need to use that in our code, which might be tricky. I cannot minimize one node. So vertical versus horizontal. Wait, vertical collision might be. Does it mean I need to completely change it to operate with points? I hope not. The special case happens if the last operation just is the opposite of the previous operation. So I need to check if 2 operations in a row are opposite of each other. And if so, that's really not allowed. And I should decrease the answer by 1. Maybe I can do that. I don't want to do it when comparing vertical things, because something might come from a different vertical segment, I believe. So when we get this answer, one way is to go again through the input and check if at the end we have one operation that cancels the previous operation. Or something else. This +1 I will apply only if there exists a next operation and it's not opposite to the previous one. So if performing that many moves would do something, 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 and then up 5, and the next move would be down 7 or whatever, then this doesn't do anything. We are not allowed to go down even a little bit. But if it says right 7 after up 5, then that's okay. We can make one right, and then only then we will collide. Okay. So I want to continue the binary search as long as low is smaller equal than high. And which can be 0. I hope that's fine. We go through the input. No, it cannot be 0. It will never be 0. Okay, if length equals 0, I need to check if this is the opposite from the previous move. If this, then change it to D. Else, if this, I don't think it's the best way to handle that. It's a very ugly way, but it should be okay. Okay, I changed pref to something opposite. If question mark, then I didn't change at all. And now if pref equals command first, then opposite is true. And by default, let's say that this is false. Something is false. It's true only if there is this special scenario. Or not. Maybe let's do it like that. This is can plus 1. By default, can plus 1 is false. And when can we do this? If previous is not question mark and command first is not previous, then can plus 1 is true. I think that's the way to do it. So there are now 2 in a row. Also, if we continue moving somewhere, so you could make 7 steps, but after 5 you're done. Okay, I hope I'm right. If low equals high, break. Low equals high, break. Hope that this is okay. Pref first, pref second. Did I? Yeah, I used pref for 2 different things. Will this stream be uploaded to YouTube later? I think so. I'm recording this just in case, exactly to do this. Now, what I will do, you should never do in your code. Pref, ugly. If you have 2 variables with the same name, between the places where you use them, you can define one of them as something else. Okay, what is into? Into is this, and this should not be allowed. It's not 11. Something did not work. 11 should fail. So we have 10. Well, this. Let's print low, and can plus 1 should be 10 and false. It's 10 and true. Okay, so can plus 1 fails. Okay. Only if you decrease to something positive. 0. It works here. Let's test a little bit more. If it's up 10, up 5, 15, down 3, 15, correct. If now I do something like that, then everything should be fine, obviously. Now left 3, left 5. Now everything but this last one. 18 plus 4, 22. 23, that's wrong. No, that's okay, because the last one is included. If I do something like that, it should be included as well. Yep. Okay, let's submit this. L5, R5. If it's accepted, then I don't need to do it. Okay, time limit exceeded. So I cannot do binary search and sweep lane. I have something in my mouth. Really? And 10 to 11. It can be way faster. No, I wonder what was the situation back then. Wrong answer, time limit exceeded, and unknown. Oh, it's likely a new test. Why do I have code without proper formatting? Do I have a segment tree? Because I saw a seg. No, it's just that. Binary search 1, binary search 2, sure. I have a more general segment. Starting X, starting Y, ending X, ending Y. And they have types, columns. Yeah, it's a very similar solution. It's longer, I think. How many lines do I have now? 140, then it's the same. Is it possible to solve in a single line? I mean, sorting here is... What do you mean online? We don't have queries here. Do you mean we go through the input as they tell us? I mean, we read the next command in the input and then we should do something. That seems more difficult. That's at least as difficult as some kind of 2D segment tree. And it would need to be dynamic to handle big coordinates. A single logarithm needs to be possible. I'm sure it's possible because we don't need to sort. I mean, the input is given to us once. So, you know, if the whole drawing looks like this, you can sort everything from left to right once. Oh, sorting isn't really that important. The set is important. I know what we can do. I commented on that. We can improve how we use the set. Before that, let me create a random max test. Something where sets can be big, because I think that's the worst scenario. Do I have some generator now? Now I want to create test generator that will output something big. No. For now, let's go right and up, always by 1 million. Okay. Second plus 1. I think it's initialized. Maybe not. Yeah, it should be. You know, this is not the worst case, but still, it's interesting. 0.4. And let's try to create something bigger here. It should give us big sets. So something that goes maybe left and right, left and right. So the sequence will be left, up, right, up, and so on. Here, up. Here, left, and right. Right, up, left, up, right, up, and so on. Okay. 1.1 seconds. Should be possible online. Probably need dynamic versions of fractional cascading to shape the logarithm from 2D segment tree. Doesn't sound easy. I used to know what fractional cascading is. I now don't remember. Maybe I need to again read about it. But let's try to first just speed up the set usage here. And we don't want to do this. In particular, I could just erase this assert and it should be faster because it's just an assert. 1.1 they didn't help. But also, if not, second return false. Is that how we use it? Okay. Why? Is this the set should be a lower bound, right? Can I just... This shouldn't help too much because then the whole binary search is all messed up. 0.7. We have 0.7 without that, just from sorting. Where is sorting? Sorting takes so much time. Why? I mean, maybe it affects how the other part of... Yes, it can affect it, because here we can stop earlier. We will not... Yeah, without sorting, I have no idea what happens. But it seems that sorting takes a lot of time. And we could, except for one event, we could just sort once. Seems like a headache. I can use vectors by reference. I can, you're right. But it shouldn't... Using set here for those vectors should be more important. Way more important. Still, let's do this. We got down to 1 second from 1.08, so it was significant. I wonder. Yeah, shouldn't matter. Continue. Do I see a better idea than sorting all of this first, except for one event, the final one, and remembering in some way what is where? I sped it up a little bit. Maybe I should submit again. Also to check if I didn't mess up anything. What sorting algorithm does sort function use? I think it's a hybrid of few algorithms, but it's fast. Unless you sort values that are very small, so you can use your own sorting algorithm, like bucket sort, counting sort, then I don't think there's much use in doing your own sorting. This was 0.9, I believe. 27, yep, 0.96 down to 0.76, but it's too slow. Can I cheat a little bit? Well, I see that correct outputs everywhere here are huge, and I see how to get accepted. I will just start binary search not from the middle, but from something close to the upper bound. I'm actually guessing that in all those tests, the answer is equal to the sum of everything. But what's a way to do it without cheating? CSES limits are just mean. They are. So update for everybody. I'm solving the robot path task from CSES. It's not an easy one. I see in my history of submissions that I tried this problem more than a year ago and I got some wrong answers. I don't know why I gave up back then. I really do not remember. Now I started from scratch. I implemented a solution in time complexity logarithm squared. Actually, it's log of answer multiplied by log of n. And now we need to improve it just a little bit. I see that, wait, am I stupid again? No, I don't know how to get rid of the logarithm. I know how to get rid of logarithm in sorting. So just sorting is something I can improve. Sets will not improve. But why is sorting so slow? I don't understand. In all those ifs, in each of those three cases, we only use set once. Here, here, and there. It cannot be unordered set because we use lower bound. After compression, I can use a segment tree. So do I improve this? What about this return true? Yeah, this takes a lot of time. Still, without that, it's 200 milliseconds. It's just for reading? What's that? Oh, for collecting the events, I guess. Maybe those vectors are just heavier than I thought. Can I re-explain the algo? Sure, maybe it will help me in speeding it up. in the input we are given a long path of this robot, and we need to figure out what's the first moment when it intersects itself. Here it's this moment. We need to say after how many steps there is an intersection. What I'm doing is I'm using binary search, so I'm trying some prefix of moves. Maybe I'm trying those green moves only, and I'm checking with using sweep line. I'm checking for this sequence of moves, is there already an intersection, any one of them? If so, it means I can go further in binary search, otherwise I need to decrease the number of steps. And when I have a series of vertical and horizontal segments, it's planar by the way, but whatever, maybe I should use it, then my solution is a sweep line that goes from left to right, and whenever it sees something horizontal, then it inserts this to a set. I have a set of long for y coordinates of horizontal segments that I'm intersecting right now. Whenever there is something vertical, I need to check if there is something horizontal in this range that would intersect. Again, there is this bug in featured chat where some single random messages I cannot highlight. I now refreshed and I lost the message. Somebody sent a message tagging Eknerwala and I couldn't highlight it. Sweep line would work. I'm using sweep line, but it's too slow. I use OneNote for drawing. Also, let's stop the warning. Can I improve the binary search? I don't think so. If I don't come up with any good idea within few minutes, I will just speed up the sorting, but it does not improve the time complexity, so I will not feel so good about just getting accepted this strange way. Doing one sweep line. Oh, and again, I cannot highlight. Why? Doing one sweep line will find the earliest line that intersects each line. I think you're right. So for every line, among all the intersection it produces, I want to know the minimum time, right? Not maximum. Max on interval. I don't know why it's max on interval. That's also a lot of work with some compression. And I'm not sure about details. Cleveland, I see that you're suggesting something, like cheating, just to pass those tests. I'm not happy with that. Also, I'm not happy with the fact that I can get accepted and then somebody will add a test that will fail my solution. Okay, I will speed up the sorting. Is this one of those once in a while streams? You can say that. Whether I will stream again this week, I don't know. Okay, now how not to implement the same thing second time? Sort the events. So we need to gather all those events once, right? So events will get a fourth coordinate, fourth index. That will be the time or the command ID. Yeah, let's try that. Get the events. This goes here. This is the same. No, this will be at time, let's say -1. Everything here gets also the time or index. Let's call it t, 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 t. This will go from -1 to n-1. Okay, now go through commands. This will not happen, so just go through the commands. And do this series of things. And then you can only once sort it. When we shorten something, it's bad if it's horizontal, because it can be shorter from the left or from the right. Well, let's say that for now it's whatever. This needs to stay. This basically I will just erase, because the solution will not be exactly the same now. But I still use binary search, right? Or not? Do I use binary search? If I don't want to use a segment tree, then yes, I use binary search. Or do I just want to get rid of binary search completely and go into segment trees? Let's think how difficult that would be, but I'm just implementing a new solution now, which I do not like. We have horizontal. When looking at this one segment, where we know that this is the segment that will break the solution, that will break the robot, then actually we can in linear time find the intersection, because when you have this shape, and once somebody tells you this is the segment that causes a collision, you can go again from the beginning, and for every segment just compare it with this one. And then you will know for this segment how many moves you could make. Like maybe 0 even. So we need to find, I would say, first segment that we cannot fully fit. And we will not binary search inside of it. That's already an improvement. A moment ago, the solution I had was n multiplied by logarithm of 10 to 11 times log of n. And now, with this observation, we have, this is just log of n. That's already twice better. Oh, you don't see it fully. That's twice better. Yeah, log of, exactly, L sum total. Log answer is changed into log n. And now, do I want to implement a segment tree to just to get a clean n log n or so, a single logarithm? You have those. You have vertical. You need to get in this range the minimum time. All the y coordinates need to be casted and compressed. Then there is the case of horizontal things that intersect. So it seems that separately, for everything horizontal that collides, I need to run some black box. Also for vertical. And this will do, I don't know, a separate sweep line or something. And then to compare vertical versus horizontal, we will use a different thing. I can do that in half an hour. This way I will find the first segment that causes an issue, and then I will implement a linear logic to do that. Yeah, I think I'll do that to get n log n solution. It will not be extremely fast because there will be a lot of compressing indices, but it should work. So what do we do now? Do we just erase the code again? Link to the problem? Just search for CSES Robot Path. I can... Yes, still I have the issue that from... What you see here is the virtual machine, and for some reason my browser in virtual machine doesn't let me copy links into the outside world. So I always need to do it like that. Copy from a browser to some other text editor inside of virtual machine, and only now I can move this to Windows. Okay. Vertical with vertical, horizontal with horizontal. At what point do we compress? We need a segment tree. We need a min segment tree. Wait. But oh, that's tricky. That segment tree usage will not be trivial. When we have a horizontal segment with some value, with some time, like 10, and the new one comes with value 7, it's not that, what do I do in a segment tree? I can minimize some position with 7, but when it ends, do I need to get back to 10? And what happens if it's the other way around? It seems, and when something really ends, then I need to turn it back on. When there is a collision like this one, it doesn't matter, the answer will anyway be 7 or lower. Am I using VirtualBox? If so, you need to restart VBox client clipboard. So is it something I can do once I close the VirtualBox? Because I'm not going to do it right now. Where do I do that? This command. You can do it while it's running. In the guest machine. So in this I don't know if guest machine is the virtual environment or the outside world. The guest machine. Virtual environment is a guest machine. Okay. So do I just type that here? Your command seems scary because when I restart my system, I mean the Linux system, did you mean this? Okay. How do I get process ID of VBox client? Well, how do I know? Is it somewhere here? Not really. VBox client. I hope that I'm not doing something, I don't know, vulnerable. We have 1883 as the first result. I don't see a difference between those two. Kill those two. Okay. Done. And now I need to run VBox client clipboard. The issue remains. Maybe do I need to restart something else like a browser? For me, what happened is magic, and the issue remains. This thing is, I once read about it. This is a rich text or something like that, and just virtual machine doesn't understand it properly. So when I copy this with Ctrl+C, it's not just text that is copied. Once I paste it here, it becomes just text, so I can move it outside. Okay, so I killed those two. I run them again. Did you across? Were you talking about some other issue then? And what am I doing? Yeah, I was supposed to now basically implement a new solution. We want to get all the segments with timestamps and then compress all of it. We don't care about lengths at all. Yeah, we do not. So compress. Then do vertical with vertical, horizontal with horizontal, and vertical, horizontal. Okay, that will be fun. when you couldn't copy it all from the machine. Yeah, so I'm able to copy just from text. When I copy this thing, for example, this is in virtual machine, but I can copy it to the outside world. That's okay, to Windows. It's just that the issue is with this browser. Let's go. I will repeat some stuff, but I don't know. Does it matter if it goes left or right? Not really. Events, add vertical. Why do I want to repeat this? That's stupid. Add vertical. We do this. Add horizontal. We do only one for now. Events, push back, x1. Should I just leave the events? Because the only thing I want to do is compress x coordinates and y coordinates. The stream is already 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I don't feel happy about this problem. I'm tempted to just restart tomorrow. What do you guys think about it? It's bad for continuity and for viewership, I would say. But on the other hand, just because I implemented everything, I got time limit exceeded. Now I feel so bad about this problem. I don't want it. And tomorrow I would not, I don't know, remember that much. So here's my suggestion. Let's leave this code for tomorrow and grab now something easier. Maybe something, again, I failed. Minimum Euclidean distance, the geometry problem. I see that I have something wrong here. I think I passed that and then new tests were added. Why won't we implement this? Given a set of points in two-dimensional plane, your task is to find the minimum Euclidean distance between two distinct points. The solution to that should be just to go from left to right, and when there is a new point, you keep in a set the previous points, I think, sorted by y. There is a divide and conquer solution, but I think we can also do it just from left to right. There are some points here. There is some best answer so far. And then when there is a new point that we see, we need in a set to use lower bound to check the points that are nearby in terms of y coordinate. Then insert this point and I think erase all the points that are too far on the left. So when this is the current sweep line, we keep erasing things that are more than answer away to the left. We will use something like a second pointer for that. I don't remember details about the time complexity of that. I always implemented it with divide and conquer, I would say. But this should be fine. New solution is to use segment trees. For that robot path problem, yes, but let's leave that for tomorrow. I want Euclidean CPP. Let's get quick accepted here and I will feel better about myself. And my face can be moved again. Do I need distance or square of a distance? Let's get both. We have a struct for points, we have functions for square of the distance and the distance. This is a helper function for square of a number. Is CP algorithms a good place to learn? You need to be already good enough to do that. CP algorithms isn't properly structured or sorted by difficulty. If you're good, then yes, CP algorithms is great. But if you're a beginner, you shouldn't use it at all. Okay, I messed up. We sort from left to right. We also create a set of things sorted by Y. Let's just call this set set. Did you know that you can call a set set? And now, can I have Y collisions there? We can. Okay. Oh, BY. Yeah, thank you, 20 pixels. Again, you're saving me a lot of time. Okay, for every point in points. Also, we keep the answer. I never use long max or int max because when you add anything to it, it overflows. So I always choose something smaller. Okay. Okay. While it's not the end, and its y coordinate is smaller or equal than by plus answer, but as a double. Answer as a double. I wonder if I should use doubles for that. Let's do it this way. How big can the distance be? It can go... Oh, it can be very big. 2, 4, 8. This can be, I think, that big. Then square root of that is around 3, so it doesn't even fit in int. Okay, well, this, we want to consider such a pair. So consider P with the inverse of iterator, second and first, because this is y and x coordinate. Let's get a distance squared of b. If d is smaller than answer, then override and answer square root is equal to something. Now this shouldn't be enough, but it's close. So then let's fix it like this. While square of this is too big, then decrease by 1. Now this should be exactly precise, like it should be perfect. I wouldn't feel safe with just square root. Let's say I'm safe with this. I feel safe with this. First x. Oh, it's just it. It's not that y is first there, I'm just using a comparator. Okay, we do this and then it plus plus. Then move it back here. While it's not the begin. Consider and if it's smaller than this, break. Let me explain what I'm doing a little bit. This algorithm does the following. If the answer right now is equal to something, let's say answer is 5. So we already found 2 points with distance 5 between each other. Then when I'm looking at any point, I only need to look up by at most 5 units and down by at most 5 units. I'm effectively searching in this range of size 10, and also I look only by at most 5 to the left. So really I'm searching for this rectangle, which is 5 by 10. When I see a point, points that were on the left are only interesting if they are in this rectangle. In a set, I keep the previous points sorted by y coordinate and only up to this position. And now I want to just iterate this range and all the points from here I want to consider. There cannot be a lot of them, because if there were a lot of them, then some 2 of them would have a smaller distance between each other. Okay, and here set insert p itself. Plus additionally, we need to erase things from the set. So let's create some index or iterator. And while points of ix is smaller than p.x minus that, so while some point is very far away, we could even say that, I guess, whatever. While this, then set erase points of I. 2. I don't know if that's a strong test. Something. Well, let's submit. There aren't any penalties here for wrong submissions, I would say. That was smooth. Nice short solution. I wonder what was wrong in this code of mine from 2 years ago. Wrong answer in test 9. An overflow, it seems, or just wrong infinity. Let's see. long max divided by 2. Yeah, I think this might be not enough. I'm not sure now. And I have a much more complicated code. I think I did here divide and conquer. Only later I heard that divide and conquer isn't necessary for this well-known problem. Minimum Euclidean distance is something I saw many times. Okay, that was short. That's cool. Okay, live stream will soon be over. You can suggest. Actually, let me ask you something. What do you think? Should I just upload the whole thing to YouTube, or because now Twitch doesn't allow double streaming and I need to do it anyway, should I split it to separate tasks? If during a stream I solve 5 different problems, should that be 5 videos on YouTube? I'm talking about my second channel, about the Ericto 2. And by the way, I don't like the fact that on YouTube there is let me decrease my face. There is live category, and it was very reasonable that any kind of live streams would go there. And now, if I re-upload it, it needs to go to videos, which is different. I will also consider again streaming only to YouTube, but I think the situation there is the same, just like it was a long time ago, which is YouTube chat sucks. The Twitch chat is so much better. And I recognize nicknames from Codeforces. Separate videos, or one video with timestamps. Maybe I will what's the word? Extract that work to somebody else. Maybe I will get somebody to do it for me. I wonder if the quality of things downloaded from Twitch is worse. Twitch download video. Is there any official tool? I wonder if I even need to record something in OBS locally, or I can find somebody who would do it for me only by downloading from Twitch. But my guess is that the quality will be lower. How about moving to Kik? Just kidding. Yeah, no such plans. You can export Twitch to YouTube directly, actually. Whoa, really? From Twitch itself, and downloads too. Twitch to YouTube directly. Your Twitch account can be connected to a YouTube account via your connections page. Once your accounts are connected, you can use the export option to... Okay. If so, then I will just upload a single big video. I will not split it. Doesn't matter if it's 5 videos or 1. Still it matters. Even if you like my content, it's good if it's made in some better way. I would like to use my Prime here. I'm not a Twitch partner or affiliate, so but thank you. All right, I will try to stream again tomorrow because I want to solve Robot Path in particular. I will just, I think, start from scratch, implement the segment tree single logarithm version. So it will not be similar to what I did. I implemented logarithm squared because I thought it would be enough. Apparently it's, I don't know, maybe 50% too slow. I know how to get accepted by squeezing this logarithm squared, but I think it's better if I do a single logarithm. Joined late, what am I up to these days? I finished my job in a school. I will soon go to a programming camp in Brazil, teaching their students for the IOI. I still work with Huawei. This November, I will be the chief judge of Polish regionals of ICPC. And I don't know. Can you please show me how to make define local works? Don't use it, it's stupid. But there is a blog in Codeforces about it. In very short, if you compile with the local flag, if you compile like that, then your C++ code will understand that the flag local is on, and then in your code you can do something like this. If def local, then do this, else do something completely else. And if. And now, if your code is compiled locally with this special flag, minus define local, minus the local, then this code will be performed, otherwise this one. And people use it for debugging. They do something like if local, then let this function print a lot of information to the output, and otherwise let it print nothing. Did I cover this problem? I'm too scared of opening your link, Max Verstappen. So I don't know. Live, YouTube live. I wonder if this is a spam. I will check after the stream. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. I will stream on Twitch with high probability tomorrow, but way earlier. Maybe like in 12 hours from now. It will not be in the evening again. Not spam? Okay, you convinced me. But if it's not spam and it's from my channel, then why are you asking me? Then apparently I covered it. Oh, this is what you mean. Minimum Euclidean distance. Yeah, I had some wrong answer. I explained here divide and conquer algorithm. And I got, I think, accepted back then, but then they added new tests or something like that. You can check. Will I participate in contests in Codeforces? When I have time, maybe. I agree, Learhist, that new solution is more elegant. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. See you, as always, see you tomorrow. I will try to upload this directly to the second YouTube channel. Bye.